Stepsons, if you want to have money, but you don't want to have to work for somebody else or work a job where you have to be there at a certain time, then you're going to want to watch this interview. I had the chance to talk to Gary Rhoads. Gary used to teach entrepreneurship at a local university. Well, if you're growing up and don't want to necessarily work for somebody else, there are ways you can make money right now, and they might be easier than you think. Watch this interview, take notes, and figure out what you can do with this if that's you and you don't want to work for somebody else, but you like having money. When I was interviewing Wes Haddock at his store and what he had done and what it took for him to be his own boss, to work for himself, one of the customers came up to me after and said, "Hey, you got to talk to my neighbor. He used to teach entrepreneurship at a local university." So she gave me his contact information. I reached out to him, and he was kind enough to sit down with me and give me this interview. Now, I did this for you, those of you young men that are watching this channel, the My Stepdad YouTube channel, so that you could get some ideas and learn some things that you can do if you want to earn money for yourself. Gary, you taught entrepreneurship at college.
That's right. Our university, we offered a whole degree in entrepreneurship.
Uh-huh.
Not only was I a professor and taught entrepreneurship and in an entrepreneurship program, which was in the top 10 in the United States, I also had my own companies too. I didn't start my first company till I was 49. I've started 6 companies since, and sold many of them.
If a young man doesn't want to work for somebody else, doesn't want to do the corporate path, doesn't...
We call it not working for the man.
How do you get started, and how do you go about choosing what it is you're going to do?
There's so many ways to make money without working for someone, right? I mean, it's so easy to do. Like, start a service where you just haul out junk for people, and you put it in Facebook and the marketplace. I have a daughter-in-law right now that's simply weeding in gardens, and $30 an hour, and she's swamped with work. So there's plenty of work out there. You just got to decide what you want to do. And so when you start doing things like that, and you're getting all the $30, where when you're working with someone and they're paying you $14, $12 an hour, they're probably making on your efforts another $30 an hour. So you might as well make it yourself, right? Look for things where people have problems, but there's no solution. I mean, I just look around here, like you see the borrow pits here as we go around, all these borrow pits where the snow in. You know, I've got to find a chemical and weed them. There is no service that would come treat those rocks to keep them from weeds. But I bet 50% of the people in this neighborhood would pay for someone to do a monthly service. And you know, you have chemicals, or you can go to Walmart and get chemicals and just come in and say, "I'll spray your pits, you know, once or twice a month, keep the weeds down, you pay me $50 a month." Pretty soon now you have 10 homes, that's 500. You have 100, that's 5,000. 5,000 a month, and you're probably working 1 day or 2 days a week. And what does that take, taking flyers and going down? I think the first thing is find something unique. You know, most curbs, most people can't see your numbers, but on the curbs they can. Just go get some number stencils. They're charging $15 a home. And you just keep going through neighborhoods and say, "I'll just put them on your curb." So people are looking at your house trying to find, you know, where the number is. And so there's so many ways to make money. Once you kind of get that entrepreneur mindset, it's not an issue of what I should do, it's which one out of the many opportunities should I do, right? But just go think of things that people aren't doing.
If you're on the journey, on the map to manhood, then this fits in the self-discipline track under earn and pay your own expenses for 6 months. Check it out at maptomanhood.org or mystepdad.org.
In answer to your question, where do I start? I think the first thing, it's easier to start, especially in entrepreneurship, with something you really enjoy. So find something you have a passion. Making money can be really burdensome unless it's something you're excited about doing. Then the excitement and passion for doing something overtakes the effort you have to put in for making money. So find something you like. That's number one. You know, find what you're passionate about, and there's always a related service or product connected to that. You know, I mean, just a simple thing, if you enjoy fishing, and you really enjoy fishing, and you really get to know areas, well, spend the time really knowing the areas and how to fish it, and then start a tour service. And take people out and make $1,200 a trip. The other suggestion is I would say is always do things in the extreme.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
Do it in the
because
extreme.
the money's made in the extreme today. So unique, so different, so extreme. Different names than just grape, strawberry, and raspberry. How about the Supreme or the local? Make everything to extreme. Don't just do things, and even lemonade stand. It's just not lemonade. It's got to be lemonade speciality. Lemonade banana. Do things in the extreme because people will pay for unique things. Don't do Me Too things. Me Too products are hard to take a lot of marketing, but unique things people talk about. So just be very extreme. Groups that we're making, doing running events. Well, running's boring and it's hard. But, when you do a running event like where you have to wear your costumes for Halloween and you run, now everybody can be involved in it and be fun, right? Do things in the extreme. And really that's my advice is just don't do Me Too. Don't do, I'm going to do another shaved ice. Well, then it better be really unique and different. Put ice cream in the bottom. Put ice cream and a cookie on top. You see what I mean? Just do things in the extremes. The problem most entrepreneurs is you have more ideas than you can implement.
Develop, yeah.
Right, and that just comes from, you just look around. As I said, we looked around here and said, what are things we could do? What are the services that we could do? A lot of young people, they don't want to invest in assets, and so just think of a service that you can provide.
One of the challenges is startup costs. So the service businesses, that's going to be very
Perfect.
minimal then.
Simply, you go out and make a flyer and go around and start getting clients. And then when you get enough clients, then go buy your products. Go buy the cleaning stuff. You don't even have to do anything yet. Just go make sure that you can line up enough people that makes it worthwhile. Window cleaning. Oh, my word. I have some of my students that just do window cleaning in the summer and pay for their whole college.
Year.
Yeah, all year. They'll make $50,000, $60,000. That's just what they have after expenses. On the other thing, you can be creative. Again, I'm looking out here and thinking my yard. I've got to aerate my yard. I know I need to do that. Well, I don't want to buy an aerator. But you can go rent one.
Yeah.
You can go rent one for $25, $35, $40 a day. But you can charge a person $100, $75, and then you line up 10 yards. Your first one's break even. And all the rest is profit off of renting that machine. And a lot of them, that's what they do. They go rent the machines. They don't go buy them. It's great to start a few little of these service companies and get the feeling of, wow, I started this from scratch. And I built it up. I make money. And those students are the kind of students that go on and always look for opportunities for bigger and better things. The taste of success feeds other success. So go try it. That's really some of the best advice I can give, I think, to students. A lot of times, if entrepreneur, you learn on selling. So I was in selling different things. I worked for a Toyota dealership while I was in college, and used their assets, but sold and made commissions, and that was good. So another thing I'd encourage, a lot of entrepreneurs come through kind of selling. Where there's pain, there's opportunity, they usually say. And also look for opportunities where we can make life a little more fun. So two things. Where there's pain, big opportunity, big company. Small pain, small opportunity, small company. And that small pain will work at their age. Right? Life's pretty boring. A lot of my students have developed apps for dating, and if I was a student and in high school or junior high, I would be into programming and coding. So I could code games, so I could code little apps, get into programming very early. Programmers don't have to look long for jobs. Find what you have passion and code what you enjoy. Right?
Why is it, the statistics are what, 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 5 years?
Yes.
And another 90% of those
Because they're
fail in
Me
the next
Too's.
10 years?
They're Me Too's. They don't have a real competitive angle. They're not unique. They're not different. That's not a great way to start companies. But if you want to say, I see what they're doing and I have a way to make it a lot better, that's a great way to do things.
The way to
We always say fail safely, right? The thing is, people are going to fail, but just fail safely. And the way you fail safely is you don't go out and just put a lot of money into things. You grow as you go. It's like we call it bootstrapping. Make sure that people like what you're doing, the product you're doing, the service you're doing before you really start expanding.
Okay. Did you grow up with your dad or without?
I did.
Your dad was
My dad was a Marine sergeant.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so military in the Marines. So.
Did he raise his kids like?
Yeah, he was very
sergeant?
strict, very strict. So my dad died very early on.
Oh,
He was very young. And so, I was 20-something. I was in the 20s. But
okay.
he died when he was 57.
For young men that are growing up and their dad's not in their daily life, any thoughts you'd want to share with
Yeah,
them?
get busy and get working.
Get working.
Because and the reason is, I mean, I was working when I was 15. You know, a lot of the people influences, our fathers are really big influencers, no doubt. But so are the people you meet in life when you're out there working. Mm-hmm. When you're working and you're busy, you don't have time to think about, hey, I wish I had my father, because you're going to find mentors where you work. You know, leverage the wisdom and experience of people that you work with. The minute I was out of high school, I was in work till 9 or 10 at night.
Yeah.
And on weekends in the band, I mean, I always had 2 or 3 jobs. The worst thing you can do if you're in that situation is not be busy, sitting around home. You tend to reflect more on the things you don't have. Being so proactive in that one just really helps you develop, and you're going to just meet great people.
Mm-hmm. Gary, thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, now you've had a chance to hear what Gary Rhoads had to say about what it would take for you to earn enough money by yourself to sustain yourself, if that's what you want to do. If you didn't see that original video, make sure you watch it here. This was the interview I had with Wes Haddock, where he talked about his experience in starting his own store and his own business, and how long it took him to get to where he didn't have to work another job, that he could make enough money on what he was doing to sustain himself. This is not the path that I went down. I went to college, I got a degree, and I worked for companies for 30 years. And that's a great way to make a living too. There are trade-offs, but both are options. So for you, my stepsons on this channel that are considering what you want to do, well, here's some of the options for you. Think about if you want to work for yourself, what could you do? And then go after it, because you can. Always remember, you can still succeed, even though your dad may not be in your daily life. And you do have a dad that loves you, because this dad loves you. And I'll see you on the next video.